Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Busy week for both of us.
Yes, indeed,
Lots of stuff going on, but
for sure.
it is. It is. It's been good. It's good to sit down here and thank you all for
Hmm.
tuning in and listening to an episode. We got a lot to discuss tonight.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're going to talk about two Union and Union Two's performance over this past weekend. Preview the game. Homecoming of sorts. Well, you know, going against former teams for Bradley Cornell and Indiana
Yeah.
Celeb. So, I mean, we got a lot going on. But before we get started, why don't you share what you picked up this past Saturday?
Okay, so I had told you, Kyle, that,
Mm-hmm.
well, if they have the purple Andre Blake, keeper kit for sale,
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to be taking my money. And, well, if you're watching this, you know they took my money.
Yeah.
So, no, they had it for sale in the team store, and it's such a nice kit. So I couldn't resist. So yes, I have the purple keeper kit on. It is Andre Blake. It is on the back. So I got that at the team store and zero regrets because it's like one of the best ones I think they've had out. The shade of purple is really, really nice.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I still like that blue they had from a few years back.
Yeah, no, that was really good too.
The blue was really
Yeah.
nice. But no,
Yeah.
that's nice. I also like the gray.
Yeah, the gray is nice. Oh, I have a gray one. Yeah, and the green that they have this year is nice too. I know Andrew Rick wore that and Andre wore that the last one too,
Hmm.
right? Which, hey, it was St. Patrick's Day too, so it's kind of fitting. And yeah, I'm also wearing some crazy socks today because it was crazy sock day at my place of work. So yeah, y'all can't see them, but I'm wearing like the most awesome like knee-high socks. They have rhinestones on them, like all over them, and like a rainbow kind of stripe at the top of them. They are super fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sticking my leg up and showing the camera. Well, I mean, I could, but that's kind of awkward.
That would be very awkward.
But just take my word for it. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, and no, again, I have failed to wear
Oh,
something.
Kyle.
I'm getting home from work. Literally got in, got set up, and we were recording. But I'm wearing another turkey trot shirt.
We
So
have plenty of those considering you
yeah,
help run that.
yeah. Like now, well, now, especially with my new role, I am. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to learn how to run these marathons and turkey trots. But
Yes.
anyway, before we get into the show, where can people find us?
So you can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at TOTWAG. We're on Instagram and Facebook at the One Team We Agree On. We have our YouTube channel, the One Team We Agree On, our Facebook, the One Team We Agree On.com, and find us wherever you get your podcasts because we are everywhere.
We are, and appreciate everybody checking out our articles.
Yeah, we really do
And
appreciate it.
appreciate everybody subscribing. We had after last episode, kind of talked to some people about like, hey, if you consider it, please subscribe.
Yeah, you get
We've
our
had
articles
more.
right to your inbox.
Yep, right to your inbox. And so again, it's on the main page right below. I think it's trending,
Yeah.
and you just add your email, and we get sent right to you. So. Anyway, without further ado, again, thank you for listening. Let's get into some news and notes. Just some fun stuff. We had a lot of news. First thing, Union 2 signing. Whoop.
Yeah, yeah. So there's been a lot of signings lately.
News.
Yeah.
Speaking of news.
Yeah. So Union 2 made a signing. Oh, and Kyle, we're not even gonna have you try to say
Shout out to Jose Nunez though, for like helping us with like how to pronounce it.
yeah. All right, go ahead, Kyle.
I'm not even trying to.
Um, Rafael Uzcategui, I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes. So anyway, he is the latest signing.
Yeah.
20-year-old Venezuelan. So yes, adding another Venezuelan to the
Yep.
roster, and the signing of these South Americans, I think this is real smart. There's a lot of talent to be found down there for
Well, there
sure.
always is,
Oh,
and
for
yeah.
sure. He's a defender. He has demonstrated ability to read the game and anticipate plays. On the international stage, he has represented Venezuela at both the U20 and U23 levels, earning 14 total caps. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he was playing in Colombia prior to that. in their first division. But also transfer market had him at $500,000 value, which again, it doesn't mean anything. That's just what they value him at, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one we kind of heard, oh, I kind of heard about, but really didn't know exactly the player. Did see him at training. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, really just was, one of those things where I mean, look fine. It's training.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say at training? News broke when on Saturday, so we were down at Subaru Park when this came out. But
Yeah, we were right there.
I'm curious to see how he develops, especially being defender, with Frankie kind of probably going to start getting a lot more minutes, with the first team. Or,
Yeah.
but say, yeah, excuse me. Just some depth that you could develop. So
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to keep shoring up that defense because, Gavin Wetzel is signed to Pitt, so he'll,
we'll see what happens there.
as of now, yeah, he's, we've got him leading, there and, um, Frankie's been up the first team, although we'll see how that
Yeah.
continues. So it's good to have some depth there and we'll see what he's got. So,
Yeah. Good sign. Good
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
So anyway,
More, Union 2 related news.
all right.
Yeah, so Marlon LeBlanc.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about Marlon for a
yeah.
second.
So shout out Marlon LeBlanc. Former Union 2 coach. And he is back coaching. He actually will lead the U18s, the youth national team as head coach for their training camp,
Hmm.
over in Spain.
Yeah, and it's nice, the U.S. men's under 18 will take on Morocco and Norway. First game's on March 22nd and second game's on March 25th. And they'll be back in Marbella, Spain.
Yeah, so Marbella, Spain is where of course, Union had their preseason. So they're back there, and
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and just really, really happy that, Neil Pierre gets to work with Marlon again. They're kind of
Hmm.
reunited now again, although, I'm sure with Kellen being on the second team and them going back and forth, maybe still see some, but, get some coaching back again. Just want to know, what are your thoughts overall?
Well, really happy for Marlon getting that opportunity. He's a heck of a coach, and figured he'd probably be, doing something before long, and so well deserved for him. Um, and it's a big opportunity there, and I'm happy for Neil getting that chance too. Of course, with the proceedings of the last game, it would have been nice to have Neil around
For sure.
because of what we'll talk about, of course, with
Hmm.
the center back situation for the first team. But I think that's great. Again, couldn't say enough about Marlon as a coach, and I'm sure he'll keep getting opportunities, or we'll know what's up next for him exactly. But this is definitely awesome for him.
Yeah, no, I think this is great. Obviously, he's not coaching at the time being, so why not get with the national team? Maybe you get some opportunities there eventually,
Hmm.
especially with Kellen as he continues to grow and develop. It was never going to be and this is just my opinion. It was never going to be he was just going to, okay, see you, go down the road. I mean, you just took one of the youngest teams in MLS Pro a year ago to the MLS Cup. You won an Eastern Conference title.
Hmm.
You're gonna get coaching opportunities. Now, I think the nice thing with him is, like this United States opportunity he has coming up, he can sit back and pick and choose what he wants.
Hmm.
So, wish Marlon all the best. This is phenomenal, and again, we'll see what comes out of it. Maybe this is an opportunity that opens up for him down the road.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's it. And then moving forward again, a little bit more news. There's like some news this week.
Yeah.
And again, people are probably like, yeah, get the game. We want to hear about you too. We'll get to that. It's just, there's some other things I want to talk about. Mainly, going to some MLS All-Star game again. Scroll over here. MLS has announced once again that The best players in North America will take center stage at Austin FC's Q2 Stadium this summer for the 2025 MLS All-Star Game. Guess who they're playing again?
Liga MX.
Liga MX Ekis again
And I'm
on
shocked.
July 23rd.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Messi is not on like
Yeah.
this promo.
Are they foreshadowing it? Probably foreshadowing. I don't know. Anyway, it's actually kind of refreshing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And but shout out to Jimmy. He brought up an interesting point on post. He said the league's quality of talent now is good enough. Can we just do an East versus West again? I'm summarizing. Um, so I want to
Yes.
ask you.
Yes.
Sure, I get it. The MLS, we got Leagues Cup. This kind of like last year builds into Leagues Cup per se, but can I be honest? Like with the quality of town league, you could go back to an East versus West.
Well, yeah, and there's so many
Do
teams at this point.
right, that's one.
Yeah.
Two, obviously we were there when they played what Arsenal 2 years ago in
Mhm.
DC.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the European clubs, we saw that game goes, but I mean, I guess my question is, do we need to always play Liga MX first? And number two, do we even need an all-star game at this point?
I mean, I think the skills challenge is fun. We had fun attending that,
But then can we just do
but
it
just
like
do the
what the
skills.
NFL does for the Pro Bowl,
Right.
where they just have fun games?
Yeah, the
It's like
Pro
a
Bowl games is better.
one-day event.
Not something that your players potentially get injured at.
Right. It's just, I don't know. Again, as this league grows and develops, and continues to go, and I want to know you guys in the comments listening. Do you really still want an all-star game? Sure, it's fun,
Hmm.
but does it really, really have a benefit long term other than just bragging rights? And again, I don't know what bragging rights there are.
Well, I think the problem is too, yeah, because it's just there's just too many good players in MLS, and then I mean they
Yeah,
get that all-star designation. I mean it's an honor, but like you know, there's so many more snubs, honestly, than when you're doing that.
personally, just go back to East versus West.
Yeah,
I'm not saying do a baseball thing,
no,
but just have fun with it. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, I love the skills challenge.
yeah. It was like $15 for us to go to it, and it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
But anyway, love to hear everybody's comments on that. So anyway, let's get into MLS action here.
All
We
right.
were down on Saturday for Union versus Nashville.
Yep.
My dad Byron made the appearance for the first time, and I think the last one, a few times, if at all, I've been in the state River End. Um, and yeah, it was a good day. It was good to spend time with him, good to spend time with you. But
Yeah, the monsoon held off because I'll tell you what, watching the weather
yeah,
forecast like all week for that game, and it was looking like it was gonna be horrible. And well, it did not rain. It was windy,
but
but it didn't rain.
no, but just kind of talk a little bit about what your thoughts on the tailgate, huh?
So the tailgate, there was a pretty good crowd.
Hmm.
And it was good to be back because that was my first game back since I missed the
Yeah,
home opener. So, I thought tailgate was pretty good. Shout out to Jeremy at the merch. I thought the merch setup for Sons of Ben looked great.
yeah.
And I liked how they put some information inside about
Mhm.
Sons of Ben for the people that are newer. So I thought, everything was great with that. Went over to Union Yards and they had the Kai Tai cocktail going on.
Yeah, so we were asked by a couple people for you to review the Kai Tai, which you
So,
did.
yes, I reviewed the cocktail, for science. Yes. And so it was a little expensive. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but
Mm.
it was kind of not cheap when you go there. And anyway, it was tasty. It was like dangerously tasty because when you have it, it didn't taste like there's any
Right.
anything alcoholic in it. But no, it was very good. And um so I think a lot of people were getting those too. So that was good. Also, they had Joey Chestnut there for after the Chalk Talk. So Dave Leno and Sage Hurley, they did their Chalk Talk. And then afterward, Joey Chestnut was there and they did like a kind of a eating contest with some fans there.
Yeah, and I mean that was fun. It was a hot dog eating contest for Dollar Dog Day. I mean, I like when Union Yards does that
Hmm.
pregame, at least some more stuff. I mean, I like the Chalk Talk. I would love to see them continue to do more and more post-game festivities.
Hmm.
Goes along with Sons of Ben. Gives fans more options and things to look forward to.
Yeah, and speaking of Union Yards, it is nice that there's a place for people to go hang out after the game,
Hmm.
and it's more money for them too. They get to make some money, and people can hang out, and it helps the whole traffic situation a bit. But they closed up really early. I don't know if it was because it was Sunday and there's some kind of like reason for that, but because it was a day game, so it wasn't like it was real late. But anyway, like some people were just like pretty much arriving there. It wasn't even an hour after the game ended, and
No,
and
because
they were
we
kicking
got
everybody out of Union
no, because
Yards.
we literally got out of there right after the final whistle. Like we saw some
Hmm.
friends,
Yeah.
some of our friends. We talked to some people walking out of the stadium, but
Yeah.
we were pretty much right out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting, but we'll see. I did have a couple things I wanted to share. You reviewed some merch, so
Yeah, so we went in the team store because
yeah,
always interested to see what they have. Because I go on social media and I see the sponsored posts all the time too. So I see a lot of
yeah,
stuff, but they don't always have stuff online that they have in the store. So I wanted to see what they had. And so there's this like lightweight kind of jacket type deal with all the lightning bolts. That was pretty nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the this look I really liked it when I saw it in person too. This is similar to a sweatshirt that I have that I got last year that has the Union logo on the front. It's the hockey
Hmm.
type sweatshirt. It's got like the laces on the front there and everything. But we have the black sweatshirt and the like light blue lightning bolts on the bottom, three stripes there, and the snake. I think that looks pretty sharp. If I didn't already have like the hockey sweatshirt, so similar, I'd be like, oh, I want to get that. But I gotta limit myself. I did get a different sweatshirt recently. Our buddy Mike Barrera, he knows which one that is. I'll show it off on another episode. But yeah, so but yeah, that one looks pretty good. Lightweight hoodies. We love lightweight hoodies.
We do.
We got the light blue here with again those yellow lightning bolts. We got t-shirt with they're really, doing the whole lightning motif here. So we got the light blue t-shirt with the lightning bolts. We've got a cream colored t-shirt with the blue stripe across the chest and the lightning bolts. We got some hoodies here. We got a blue one with the logo and liked this sweatshirt. It so we have a looks a nice heavy sweatshirt here. It's got like cream and black stripes and it's got gray. It has the Philadelphia Union thing across the um chest. So we like that one. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, and that was another picture right there of it right
Yeah.
there. Oh, and then they had the little tie-dye beanies. So
Yeah, they had tie-dye beanies.
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, so that's just a few things. I mean, they had a lot of new stuff there, so and of course they had all the new jerseys and they had, like I said, the purple kit because you know, that was of course the highlight for me.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, it was fine. Like you said, they're doubling down lightning bolts. I don't know, some of this stuff I think is a little too much lightning. There was a
Mm.
couple things there that were nice. Some of that stuff I'm like, okay, that's way too much riding on the
I
lightning.
like the lightning, but I'm telling you, and I've said this before, and I said it in an article, and I've said it on social media, they really missed the opportunity with the whole year of the snake.
They did.
It's the year of the snake, people, okay? Like, why are we not milking that? Okay. I mean, my goodness. I mean, Union, I mean, come on. But anyway, is what it is.
So anyway, let's get into it. I got a couple notes here
All
and
right.
for so Union yeah, they fall 3-1 in Nashville at home.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Definitely no controversy at all in this game.
oh my gosh. Well, we'll get into it, but again, what
Yeah.
we're gonna say, it's been said by others already and maybe or maybe not better, but
Mm-hmm.
we still gonna give it notes and some thoughts here. My first thought is credit to Nashville. They beat the Union. BJ Callahan had a plan
Yeah.
and they beat them straight up. I mean, just the old saying, you want to beat the Union, give them possession of the ball. Guess
Yep.
what?
And
Union
they gave him possession.
Union had 56% of the possession,
Mm-hmm.
only five shots on target out of 11, which again is not bad. Actually, that's been kind of one thing I've really
Mm-hmm.
liked. But again, shots, opportunities were down. And Todd Jose brought it up. When's the last time Union been out physical? Credit to Nashville. They just really out physicaled them. Limited Brebo, I think Todd said he had one touch, or and I was looking, I think it was like one or two
Well, it's
touches.
the first game tied in scoring,
Yeah.
and the first game that there's only one goal,
Yeah.
like
I
not
mean,
multiple.
really just on the day, and we can talk about refs, we can talk about miscues and blunders and X,
Mm-hmm.
Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, they just got outplayed. I felt like,
Yeah, you know, it's easy to say, oh, the refs were really bad and, cost the Union game, but they didn't do enough elsewhere to, get a hold of this game also.
no, no, and I think it's a learning curve for this group.
Yeah, um, it is. And honestly, and I think Todd said this on his podcast, you know, they got the loss out of the way.
They did. And now, and I want to play this introductory press clip from Bradley Carnell because it was very interesting what he said.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts. It's really not much, but
Hmm.
Afternoon, early evening, everybody. Yeah, disappointed to lose at home, obviously. First and foremost, really proud of the guys for the last couple of weeks, what they've put on. It's been really impressive. And we go against, a team that was very resilient on the day and came here to do a specific job, and they did just that. And it was a tough day. BJ's done a great job over the last couple of weeks. And we lose momentum at certain moments in the game, and conceding before halftime was probably one of the killers. So the football gods didn't want us to go 4-0 or, to compete in this game, and unfortunately, we get the short end of the stick and we move on from there. But incredibly proud of this group, and we wipe this one off and we go again next week.
Okay, so can I say something? Like, as I'm sitting here with my Super Bowl champions,
mhm.
Eagles cup here. Listen, I'm not necessarily comparing the Union to, Super Bowl 59 champions, Philadelphia Eagles. But, you know, you remember when the Eagles were 2-2,
Yeah,
and in fact, we were at a Union 2 game and
yeah,
like they were playing and they were, they had that they had some disappointing losses. It was like the Tampa Bay game, and
yeah.
and they after those losses, they went on that run. Okay.
Mhm.
After they were 2-2, they went on that run and they only lost to Washington because of Jalen Hurts getting a concussion, honestly. So, you know, they needed to get kicked in the teeth there a little bit and learn from it. Okay. And they did. I'm kind of okay, we got a loss out of the way. Now, we'll see how the Union responds from this, see how they rebound. Okay. Because, you know, there's a lot of games left, but I
Yeah,
think
for
that it
sure.
was humbling and they've been off to such a hot start and exceeding people's expectations, which is pretty cool. But okay, let's let's see what we can learn from this and get stronger as a result, hopefully.
Yeah, for me, with that comment, the soccer gods did no good
Mm.
today. It kind of made me chuckle a little bit. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you. I'm curious to see what he says um in losses moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, is that his thing? Praising guys and you know, I think for me, you hit the nail on the head. How are they going to perceive? Look, I'm not too concerned at
Mm-hmm.
this point because we brought this up the last episode that next three games are going to be tough. We're going to see what this
They
team
are.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I didn't expect them to win all three of them. St. Louis is a very good team, and Miami's clicking,
Mm-hmm.
even with or without Messi. So, look, I think this is a learning experience, like we've said.
Yes.
Um, and I think Bradley said, wipe the slate, move forward. What areas, how can you get Uwa kind of a little bit more involved? I mean, he had some
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. Gazdag missed, and I believe Todd and Jose and some other people brought this up. There were opportunities in this game for the Union to neutralize. And I'm
Right?
not talking about the PKs, and we'll get to that in a little bit. There was that play, ball in the box, Danny whiffed on,
Yep.
missed on. There's a couple plays that just, again, Nashville did a better job breaking them down defensively on the day and just limiting the opportunities. And when the opportunities came, and credit to Joe Wills. Joe Wills had a good game. I've seen Joe
Yeah.
Wills have some clunkers. I've said some Joe Wills have some really good games, and he had a good
He
game.
had a really good game, credit where credit is
Yeah,
due, because
he did.
yeah, unfortunately for the Union, he was really on his game.
Yeah. Um, I have one other here from Bradley I want to share.
Listen, momentum goes against us in certain ways, and however, I see the plays. It's regardless because the plays weren't given, and then we do get one, and unfortunately, Joe makes a great save. So again, the football gods didn't want the story to carry on going how it was, and it's up to us now to respond to this. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that exactly, and we're gonna leave it there. Defensively on the day, Jacob and McKay, probably one of the first games for a full 90. They were not great. I mean, we heard from others that in the comments, you know, Jovan, Andre, and Jacob were very much like, it's on us, it's
Hmm.
not on the refs. So
Yeah.
credit to Nashville. They
Mhm.
basically walked in on two of those goals. They had the
Hmm.
back line at times on skates. And
Yeah.
I mean, for you, I got two questions. First, how concerned are you about Jacob Glessis? Now, he has played better at times.
Yeah, it's just it's been a little rough. I mean, I think yeah, I mean it's not the defender of the year, Jacob Glessness. It's tough. He is getting older. He's in his 30s now and it
He's
gets
had
tougher.
injuries.
Okay. And
Um,
he's had the injuries. Um, but he's looking better this year. But yeah, this one was kind of brutal. And of course, it wasn't a great game for McCanya either. And red card aside. So that was unfortunate,
but
just
we've seen that from him.
yeah, we
We
have.
have seen
We
that from him. You
have.
saw that in MLS Next Pro Cup. We've seen that in MLS Next Pro games. Like it's what I like to
Yeah.
call stray voltage.
Yeah.
Um, he just will be playing okay. He gets frustrated with himself because he's a competitor, and he just lashes out, whether it be a silly foul, throwing a ball at a player's face. It's just like, here's another learning lesson where
Yeah.
you hope he can grow and develop from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he has been
Uh-huh.
growing, learning, and developing. Because like the first game, I thought he was a little shaky at times, but he learned and he got better,
Yeah.
and he seemed to be really learning. And then he goes and does something dumb, okay? And that definitely should be a big learning experience because now, of course, there is a situation with the center backs moving forward because they're going to be down people going into this next game, a whole bunch of people. So options are way more limited, and they really could have used him, on the back line in the next game. But
Right. And getting back to
yeah.
Bradley's point about momentum with the
Hmm.
PKs, there again, I think it was Todd that brought this up about, Danny hits that, Quinn's PK, we had the PK call off sides. Momentum just it wasn't there that day. And maybe that's where he's going out with the soccer guys. I just think the Union
Yeah.
just didn't have it that day. And again, learning experiences.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? And again, I always hate when the people and you hear all these fans like saying that, yeah, maybe he wasn't good on the day. Pierre-Luc Lazarier, I think his name was. What
Hmm.
did you think of his performance? Because sure, you could say a couple things here and there, but I mean,
Okay.
I've s- I have seen worse, but it wasn't
Okay.
great. I think it was more the momentum
Yeah.
calls.
So did you see the video that Andrew Wiebe did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And okay. So that was on MLS
Yeah.
site, and I thought it was a pretty good analysis of it.
Yeah.
So basically my thoughts were kind of aligned with what he said, and I thought that was pretty good video. So that's on like the MLS site and it's on
Mhm.
YouTube, whatever, for those who haven't seen it. But basically that should have been a PK when Quinn was taken out.
Right.
And I am not sure how that doesn't get, they go to VAR and that's not awarded as a PK because what the heck? And when you see angles that have been posted since then, it's like, what on earth? So, that the thing about that is, okay, let's say they get the PK. Daniel Gazdag still on the field at that point. He
Right.
could have taken the PK and hopefully buries it, and that can be a big momentum change
Game
for the
would be
team.
tied up at that
Yeah.
point.
So, the butterfly effect here, that could have been a big momentum change. Maybe the results are different,
Right.
but unfortunately, it didn't go the Union's way. Um, I think that, for a lot of the, foul calls, I thought the ref was okay, but we had a really good view from where we were on the Jacob and Hani
Yeah.
collision. Okay. And when I was watching that live, I thought it was pretty 50-50 watching it.
Yeah.
And initially it's not called, it's just, it's just play on, but then they go and review it and they award the PK. And, and of course, a lot of people are like, why is Hani allowed to take this when Jacob's made to go off the field
Hmm.
because of the concussion protocol? And then we find out, of course, it's a new rule that if they're the designated PK taker, then
They can
they,
stay
they
on the
can stay on,
field.
which I think, stinks. But, I also get it because then, well, someone, brought this up too. That was like, it was like, well, they would just people might be just trying to take out like it was Ken
Yeah.
and Andrew Borton. They were saying, like, well, then people might just try to take Messi out all the time because then he can't take the PK, or whatever. Like, and I get the reasoning for the rules and stuff, but anyway, it was definitely, I think, I do think it maybe wasn't really a PK. And when you see like the different views of it and what Andrew Wiebe brought up, it's like, yeah, he didn't think it should have been a PK. I can see why it was called, but at the same time, it's just like unfortunate. I think that one was pretty iffy.
Right.
Um, and then of course, Union finally do get a PK when Chris Donovan gets taken down. And my thoughts on that, why did Quinn take that?
Yeah.
And okay, fun fact for everyone listening. Kyle had to share a stat. Kyle, you had to share that
Yeah,
stat about
which,
Quinn.
well, I went back and checked. I'm not sure that's correct.
It's not good when you share stats when we're watching the game.
Especially, yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, so
uh,
shared a stat about Quinn's like
PK.
PK percentage. Anyway, so and I'm like, don't tell me that. And then of
And I
course
had it
Quinn
on my
misses.
phone too, and then I went back and I'm like, was it that? And then I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
So I, along with a lot of people, we're like, man, would love to have seen maybe Bruno take that. And I don't know if his PK taking abilities though, because we've seen so little.
he's decent. Yes,
Is he
he's
good?
very yes, he's
Yeah.
good.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna give the stats because I don't know him off the top of my head, but I know with Boston River, he
yeah.
had a lot of PKs. In
Okay.
fact, that's one of the things he
Okay.
was really good at.
So
I
yeah,
want to
why is
say he
Quinn
had
taking
five.
it?
I want to say he had five last year.
So why is
Somebody
Quinn
correct
taking
me.
it? Heck, I would rather see Cavan, no offense, Quinn, but I'd rather see Cavan take the PK. I've seen Cavan hit PKs.
I don't know. Maybe he's probably the next man up, but
Yeah.
maybe as Bruno develops and gets more
Yeah.
opportunities, that again, Carnell will give him that chance.
Yeah. One thing is for sure, we're going to see more Bruno most likely in a starting role in the next game because they kind of have to, no tie. So,
Yeah, I mean, here at the end of the day is this:
yeah.
the refs didn't cost the Union the game.
No,
Um,
it
it,
definitely things
it,
might have swung in a different direction momentum wise had it been called differently,
but
but
there was not enough even then,
yeah.
because we've seen games where it's like the ref really kind of dictated and took the Union out of the game. It wasn't even that. It
We
was
can all
one
remember the
credit.
Miami match last year when Union rep two men.
Yeah, I mean,
And you
the
think, okay,
Nashville credit them. They took him out of the game. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and we probably, if you're listening, you're like, oh my gosh, you're just going negative. No, there were Jovan had a goal, and he's
Jovan
continued.
had a fantastic goal, a banger of a goal.
He did, and
And credit to Jovan, he's going to become a fan favorite. Like,
very good. I thought Danley was fine on the day.
Stanley is good, yeah.
I mean, there were good moments on
Yeah.
the day where it wasn't like gloom and doom.
Yeah.
Um, it was just kind of like, oh, here comes Nashville. They're playing confident. They're building
Yeah.
into the season, and Union just didn't answer. So I don't I I don't get that, oh my gosh, the sky's falling again. But it I can understand it, but this is a new year, and I think, let's see how a depleted
Mhm.
roster with international clubs, which is a good thing, by the way. You want players to get
Mhm.
called up to the national team.
It's just unfortunate that it happens when the Union still have to play a game.
Right.
Guess who
But
doesn't have to play a game this weekend?
who?
Miami.
Oh, well,
Of
okay.
of course they scheduled him. Just saying.
Well, but clubs get to do that, so they probably scheduled that. That's their prerogative. You wanted to play it. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a new week. Let's see how they do
Let's
against.
pump the brakes on negativity because literally it's
And
4 games
throwing
in the
hot
stadium.
dogs on the field and trash.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm
But
not even gonna really get into this. I think people know it's like, come
okay.
on.
I have thoughts. Yeah, we're up there in the stands and we're watching it. And from where we were in 136, it was not coming from our section. No,
Hmm.
it was coming from to the right of us. It was like 135,
All
134,
right.
yeah, that direction, like towards the corner creeps and all them. And we're everyone around us are like, what the heck, you know? Like, don't be this is all I'm gonna say about it. Like, do better, fans. Like, come on. That's LAFC behavior.
Right. Like other fans
That
do
is
this.
trashy, literally trashy behavior. Like, okay, all that I mean, honestly, Philadelphia fans already get a bad rap about, stuff. There you are playing into the stereotype. But just unfortunate when I have to see Andre Blake go and pick up a hot dog, toss him over and just like the security people and people down below, they're getting pelted with this stuff too. Like, do better. That's ridiculous.
It's
Like, grow up, people.
yeah. No,
Now, you know what? You can hurl insults, you can throw up double birds, whatever, but don't throw stuff. Grow up, people.
all right.
That's my
I
that's my piece on that.
Nope, I couldn't say it better myself. But anyway, let's move on to Union 2.
Yes, yes.
So you were down and I was coaching for us, and so that you could one of us could get down there and
Hmm.
cover the match. So I want to talk to you. This is going to be your segment.
Okay.
Because honestly, I just listened to the game. I had
And
it
there's
on.
no replay, which is
Yeah,
stupid.
but I want to get your thoughts on a couple things. Really, just what did you think about the squad overall?
Mhm.
Um, what did you think about the opportunities? Just overall the game.
All right. So first of all, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that the opening, home opener was on a Monday night
Hmm.
and it was cold and it was windy. Uh, it was definitely colder than it was on Sunday. So, St. Patrick's Day and everything. So the crowd was pretty sparse. Shout out to the Bridge Brigade though. They showed up as they do and brought the noise, but yeah, it was a really small crowd. Um, but anyway, so the starting lineup was, um, I thought was pretty good. Okay.
Hmm.
I we had so you had Sal up top,
Hmm.
okay? And I thought that and you had Stas. Now Stas I thought was pretty good
Hmm.
on the day. I really like what I've seen from him. Sal did okay, but um just he would not get to the ball quick enough in some places. He really could have used just a little more hustle maybe on that and just was not clicking on the day. And we've seen really good stuff from Sal, but um
We've also seen what you just described a lot more often. Again, I'm not
yeah.
trying to be negative on Sal, but the
Yeah.
reality is he's not that type of player.
Yeah, I definitely saw a difference when Eddie came on.
Correct.
Eddie had a lot of good pace, a lot of good energy, and um, was better at crashing at the ball and everything.
Hmm.
So, and I thought Leandro Soria when he subbed on two, I thought he was pretty strong as well. So, I mean, they have some options there at striker for sure. So some things to clean up there. Midfield wise, I thought that was pretty strong. CJ, he's been real strong on that. Um, you had Zach Mastrodemos. He's been actually, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's still at the academy. So he actually he did very well, I thought.
I've seen him. If you watch Academy games, he's an up and coming player,
He
somebody to
is.
keep an eye on.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
he can hit it. He can strike it.
He can.
He definitely
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, he can. And so I thought like midfield wise, not bad on the day. You had Cavan in there.
Hmm.
I thought Cavan had a really strong game, and obviously he scores the goal.
Right.
So basically, oh, and David Vasquez, I thought he was really strong on the day too. I thought he was one of my standouts of the day. So there's a foul just outside the box. It was the 20th minute, I believe. So foul just outside the box. And so dangerous free kick gets set up. Cavan takes it and nails it just right into the goal. And really nice goal. So Union go up, Union 2 go up 1-0. And that's going to hold until stoppage time of the second half. Okay, second half stoppage time, where finally, Red Bulls too, would they'd get, in dangerous territory there, and they'd have sometimes like a sitter or a clear shot, and then they'd totally whiff on it, or
Hmm.
just like totally miss it. And of course, Andrew Rick, great job by Andrew. And by the way, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I did interview him. Go check it out on our website, oneteamweagreeon.com. I interviewed him at training and had a good conversation with him. And anyway, but I thought defensively, uh, not bad. Now, in this case, we had actually Ramsey Kawasmi, he made his debut.
Yeah.
He started the game, so that was his first game with them. And I know you have some content coming out soon too,
Yeah,
so
I'm
stay tuned
hoping
for
to
that.
have that out either tomorrow or Friday at some point.
Yeah, so so you talked to him, and so you had him back there, and also Gavin Wetzel playing
Hmm.
center back. So yeah, Gavin's been real strong. Unfortunately, I believe it was like the 82nd minute or so, he gets called for a dog so and red
Yeah.
card, and he's out, which stinks because now they're not gonna have him the next game. So speaking of center back situations, no Neil either because he's on,
Well,
he's
I,
you know,
I still,
although they don't have, the good news is Neil should be back for the next game. They actually, Union 2 don't play
right.
this weekend. Their next game's not till like the 28th.
And you still have
You have
some,
options. Yeah,
you
there's
have
still
like
options.
somebody like maybe Frank
There's
gets down, Raphael,
yeah, there's Oscar.
yeah.
So you have some options. But anyway, and you had Nick Periano was playing
Mhm.
um at the right back, and you had Isaiah LaFleur in there. And they were really, to be honest, Isaiah LaFleur was getting really exposed there on that side. They kept
Right.
going down that side. And Isaiah, I think, is still just kind of working his way back to really this match fitness because he didn't play a match in like a whole year
Yeah.
really until like preseason um with the squads this year. So they just kept running down that side every time. So anyway, yeah, unfortunately, so the Union 2 got scored on in stoppage time, so that's kind of heartbreaking. But of course, with MLS Next Pro rules, if it ends in a draw, you go to PKs to decide the extra points, kind of like with hockey. So, they don't have overtime in a regular season game, they do in the playoffs, but basically, you get awarded a second point if you win the shootout.
Hmm.
And so it's good for these guys. They get to practice shootouts anyway. They get to practice the PKs and everything. So they go to that, and um, Andrew Rick. Now, I talked to him about PKs because the previous game went to when they were at New England Revolution 2. They went to PKs because it was also a draw, but that was a scoreless draw. So and he had big saves. He had a big save in the regular PK during the game. He had
Hmm.
saved during the shootout. But Andrew Rick has been so good in penalties. Like he's been real, real good. So Nick Pariano comes up, his shot gets saved, but then Rick makes a save on the first guy for Red Bulls. And so that's huge. Big momentum swing. Okay. And I forget who was up next. I think it might have been Stas. Well, anyway, Union 2 make their shot, so do Red Bulls. Okay. And then you have you know, Union make their next one. Rick saves, well, and basically at the end of the day, Rick saves two of them.
Right.
Okay, he saves two. And I know Vasquez and Soria, they make their shots. Um, and the guy that actually scored that stoppage time goal for Red Bulls,
He
Rossborough,
skied it.
he skied it. Walker Zimmerman style from the playoffs the other day. Yeah, you guys remember from 2021, skied it. And then so Union 2-1. But yeah, Rick was real good on the day. And so yeah, that was big. They got the 2 points. So good stuff there. And of course, they're off till the 28th where they go to Huntsville. And I did speak with both Ryan Richter and Cavan after the match. So I got some good stuff from them, which I did. I did a whole match recap article. It's on the match. And how's it feel to get your first goal? And yeah, so you guys can check out that on the website. Also, my Andrew Rick article where I talked to him. But yeah, so you're going to play a clip here from
Gavin, this is
Cavan.
Gavin on scoring the goal.
2025.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a pretty fast start for me. Nice free kick goal. I was happy to do that. Yeah, obviously it's not awesome losing a point at home. We're happy to obviously won in penalties, but it would have been nice to get all three. We know what we did wrong. Obviously late in the game we had a few missed opportunities and then some sloppy things on the defensive end. So we know what to fix up and what to change for these next couple of weeks.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's basically just says it right there. I mean, I chuckle at some of his responses. You can tell he's still young, he's still
Yeah.
green.
He's 15.
He's 15, but it is true. It's like you had a lead, you lost it, you learn from this one, you get an extra point. You got 1 point the first time, 2 points this time. Hey, maybe you get 3 points the next time. But also, and you asked him a couple other questions, but
And the whole thing is on the article and also I posted on social. So definitely go check it out. I will say, like, I think since last year, Cavan's also he's gotten a lot more practice at, being interviewed and stuff for
absolutely.
sure. And it shows. I mean, listen, I work with teenagers around his age all the time. And so I get it. He's actually gotten a little more well spoken, so credit to him.
No, he really has. That's actually did stick out to me. And same with like when I interviewed Jameer Johnson. Like
Yeah.
last year, he gave one word answers. Now he's giving like a couple sentences.
And Andrew Rick was fantastic, by the way, when
Yeah.
I interviewed him. So you all should go check that out. But
So yeah, no, I mean it's good stuff. I mean, just talking about hey, this is
yeah.
frustration. We should have gotten a point, we didn't. And so then I was curious, and I asked you to ask him this, like, what's his thoughts on all this coaching change, new philosophy? How's he adapting to it?
Yeah, new coaching staff on both the first team and second team. The formula and the way we want to play is coming down through all the levels. So definitely a play style change. We want to play with the ball more. I think we still could have done more of that this game, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's something we need to work on, but it's nothing we can't do by the end of the season.
So yeah, I mean, and he's right. And you'd asked him about what he feel about the attack. He thought it was better than the first game, but like you said, there's still a lot to work on.
Yeah, it was only their second game.
Right. And then you did talk to Ryan. So actually, you asked him about his first match.
Overall thoughts on the performance of the squad tonight?
Yeah, I thought it's very difficult conditions to play in when it's windy like this. Probably the worst conditions for a player, but I thought we did a good job in the game trying to play through that. Fighting as a unit, of course, that changes a lot when the red card happens, and they had a couple of big chances. It got really chaotic again at the end, but it feels good to come away with 2 points, I guess, rather than last week when it leaves you with a terrible feeling. So I guess that's a good part about the penalty shootout ending, is that it can also feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what he said at the end there. So that's the nice thing about the PKs. It's like, yeah, it's a draw, but you get to go home with, that that extra point and the excitement of that win of the shootout.
For sure. I mean, I'm not opposed to this, and again, it's developmental,
Hmm.
and it's developmental professional soccer. So these kids are learning how pressure situations if they were ever to move
Hmm.
on to USL or MLS Next Pro. Um, no, I think he hit the nail on the head. Like you said, it was windy. It was windy the day before. Playing in wind is awful, but
And it was a lot colder Monday
yeah.
night.
So, and like I said, listening to the game, you could tell they were in control. I mean, Red Bull's first goal was on their first shot on target of the game.
Yep.
So being down, man, that definitely did change the tide, unfortunately. But
Yeah, taking Gavin out because Gavin was pretty solid. He's a solid defender, so.
yeah. And then last question from him was, what'd you think of the opportunities?
And you mentioned that after last game they hadn't created enough big opportunities. So where do you rate the squad after 2 games in that, and you're seeing improvement?
Again, I'm critical, so I would say we had a couple really good ones, but there's a couple situations where we're in 3v2 situations where, again, the timing of the pass is just a little off. Whether it's releasing it too late or releasing it too early, it just goes from from what could be a great chance to just being a good chance. And we have to get right these situations because they pop up 3 or 4 times in the game. If you get them right, you get goals. If you don't get them right, then it becomes difficult.
And he's right. I mean, that's really how watching that first game and then listening to this one, it's spot on the head. So we'll see if they can correct this.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
So being in person there, this was the first time I got to see Ryan Richter really in that coaching role there and see how he was managing them during the game. And, so far from when I've talked to him and from what I've watched, I think, he's definitely, I mean, there's the continuity since he's been with this whole system. So,
And
and
a lot of the players have come
yeah,
up when he was with the academy, so there's
right.
that relationship. So
So yeah, I think, obviously we're big fans of Marlon and everything, but I think Ryan's a good fit in this as well. And I'm excited to see, how this progresses. If I'm being honest, being up in the press box, for me, it was weird not hearing Marlon yelling out at the guys. I mean, Ryan will yell things, but it's just not the same. But no,
right.
I think Ryan, he's doing a good job so far, and I appreciated his thoughts on the game afterward and everything. So,
Like
he gave some great responses.
like I said in my recap, I think it was after New England game. Um, he's only been with the team since January, so
Yeah, yeah.
give some more time here.
Right.
Things are going to start picking up. Wrapping up here, little last bit of news. Union are have 8 players called up for
Yes.
international break.
Yes.
Neil Pierre, Frankie Westfield, Andre Blake, Ty Baribo, Daniel Gazdag, Danley Jean-Jacques, Kellen LeBlanc, and Jesus Bueno.
Yes.
Again, great problem to have. I know it stinks when you have a team like St. Louis City coming into town and you have a match,
Yeah.
but this is what you really want.
I mean, good for those
Want
guys. Yeah.
you want you want nations wanting your players
Yeah.
on their teams. So,
It's a good problem, but yeah, it's unfortunate the timing, but it is what it is.
but having said that, let's look at the positive. Who can benefit from this?
Yeah, so it's a shame, like good for Jesus Bueno for getting to go with his national
Right.
team, but this would have been a chance for him to maybe, get some playing time too. So that's unfortunate. I hope he plays with Venezuela then because gosh, so I would like to see more Choo Choo in the games. I know some other people who would like to see that as well. Okay.
Speaking of playing for your national team, you think Daniel gets any minutes?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like what a waste if they don't get playing time.
Yeah.
And I mean, but yeah, exciting for these guys, but I think, you're gonna see Bruno start because I mean Ty
Yeah.
on international. I mean, you gotta get Bruno the start there. I mean, gosh, he's their biggest signing ever. So let's see what he can do now for more of that time. Um, I think that this could be an opportunity to see some of those guys in the midfield that
like a
like it,
CJ,
CJ maybe,
like a
Indy,
Cavan.
Cavan,
I
maybe
mean, I
Cav.
think you're gonna definitely see
Do you think
in.
Cavan gets his first MLS start?
I don't know about that.
I don't
I
know.
think you would go. If I honestly think up top, you're probably gonna go Cavan.
Yeah.
Cavan. Yeah, I just said no. I said
Yeah,
Cavan. No.
right.
Um, who, Damiani, Vasilev, and probably Sullivan.
Yeah, you
Uh,
have Quinn in there. Yeah.
then who you put next to Jovan? Do you go Diamond?
Mhm.
And if you do Diamond, do you put Allie in there? And is Allie
I
ready to
mean, Allie
roll?
could start. I don't like, no offense, Allie. I don't want to see
I
him play
mean,
the whole game.
because you put a CJ Olney in, David
Like,
Vasquez,
not gonna lie.
Kevin. These are the players that do
Okay,
have benefits. Sorry.
CJ, David, Kevin, like they all played really well against U2, and they don't have a U2 game this weekend. So, at
I'm not
least
saying they
I'm not
start.
saying they start, but maybe off the bench. Um, CJ only had like the one appearance with MLS, and was that during Leagues Cup? I forget. But it was in the summer, I want to say.
No, it was
Was
right
it?
after Leagues Cup,
Okay.
or right
So,
before Leagues Cup. I
yeah.
forget.
Um, Vasquez has yet to play actually in a game with the first team, make his debut. I really like what I've seen from him. And Captain can hold his own. So, I think some of these guys are going to get in there. Another thing I think is, man, Marcus Anderson, that poor kid, like he is,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
because
curious to
he,
see what Carnell says in his weekly press conference, which is
yeah,
tomorrow.
because we could see him coming off the bench. And let's all remember the Portland game last year. Okay, Marcus was in there. Are we going to see Rafa? That's another thing. Jeremy Raffanello. This could be a
Yeah.
chance for him as well. So, some of these guys that they had to step it up for that game at Portland last year, which, as we know, the Union won, and they had been depleted. So, next man up on this. So we'll see what these guys have. Of course, Jovan has been just awesome to see, and he'll be in there. And um but I am excited to see kind of how some of these other guys step it up, if they get that chance. I think Indy could be exciting to see
Mhm.
here as well. I like what we've seen from him. By the way, our friend Todd Lewis with the free kick, he interviewed Indy when
Excellent
we were
interview.
training. So yes. So that was really good. Um, so the big question mark, of course, is center back and just the back line.
And I guess Carnell's gonna update tomorrow.
Yeah,
What's Jan Glavinovich's
that's the
status?
big question. If Jan is good to go, okay.
If Jan, I'm not even saying he can play full 90, but I'm sure he probably is gonna have to, and you hope he can.
Yeah. I want
Um,
to see what he can do because we've had a small
yeah, and
sample
then you
size.
bump Harrell over there, and then at least you have some flexibility with Biza. But if not,
Yeah.
Harrell's gonna play center back.
Then you have to
It'll,
put Bizo in right back. I really hope Jan is good to go. They can be okay at center back, but preferably we don't want him there.
all right, and then you'll have Rick in net.
Yeah,
So
so I would assume they have Rick. Yeah. Did you notice they had Zemla as the backup keeper out
yeah,
there? I think you're gonna have Zemla as the backup keeper. I think you go with Rick here.
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. And I feel for Oliver Zemla. He's just, I think just gosh, last year he just got kind of like
I don't
he
know.
got rocked there, and that when he got, I think like something broke when Orishano chipped him. But from every interaction, Zemla, I've heard he's such a classy guy. I've met him, and he's super nice, and it's a bummer. Like I just hope he can get himself back in form. But yeah, I think you go with Rick here, and especially there's no U2 game this weekend either, so that helps.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting. I hope that they have a result similar to the Portland game, as in a win when the guys step up, and this time it's at home and it's Irish Heritage Night. And did you see the promo for Irish Heritage Night, by the way?
No,
So it had Mikel Ua, and I'm thinking they couldn't put someone with Irish heritage on that.
maybe they don't have anybody with Irish
Isn't
ears.
isn't Sullivan? Aren't they? Don't they have Irish?
Maybe
Sullivan, I think's Irish. Anyway, but I know
somebody correct
I
us
know
on
they have
that.
German and Bangladeshi and all that,
Yeah.
but and it's funny because of course if he was still with the team, Jack McGlynn would be the natural choice. Of course, they have an Irish Heritage Night and Jack's gone. But shout out to Jack McGlynn, by the way,
Yeah.
on that note, because Jack McGlynn got called up to the U.S. men's
Yes,
national
he did.
team. And I'm so happy for him. And he's listed as a forward, by the way.
I saw it. I thought that was funny. Hey, who knows?
But
Maybe
yeah, go
fun.
Jack. Let's go.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, Irish Heritage Night.
I have a little bit of Irish heritage. According to
I have zero.
Ancestry, like I have only a smaller percentage. I thought I had a lot more, but I'm way more I have a lot of Scottish and a lot of German.
Yeah,
But you have no
I
Irish
don't think
heritage,
so.
Kyle?
No.
No. Well,
Um, but hey, they got Irish food, music, and culture.
yes,
So I'm
love it.
sure it'll be a fun time. Hey, they're going against St. Louis City, who, on the season hasn't allowed a goal in 4 games. So they haven't been
So it's time
scoring.
to break that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Olaf Melberg's his side's feeling very confident, since he's come in
Uh-huh.
this year. They played well. I mean, they they beat a Seattle team 1-0. Now,
Hmm.
the weird thing is they haven't allowed a goal, but they've only scored 3 goals this year.
Right. So this could be interesting.
It could be, but they're very physical. Todd interviewed another person in the media that covers them, so go listen to that.
Hmm.
It's on YouTube. I think he's dropping it tomorrow at the time of this episode as well. I might be wrong. It might be up now.
Hmm.
But no, look, Roman Berkey, who really had a lot of credit
Yeah.
for that, he's out. Apparently, I don't know of any updates, but I know last game, Ben Lunt was playing. Now they played Seattle, they won, obviously, but Seattle had like 13 shots, but only one on target.
Hmm.
Lund has a 50, well, I'm not even gonna give the save percentage,
Yeah,
but
let's not.
yeah, go look up his save percentage, career-wise. I mean, he's been around, so
Yeah.
I mean, if they can put some opportunities on this, I want to see them rebound, try to get some goals here.
Yeah.
What's the weather like?
Yeah, so easy, I'm checking it. 60 degrees and cloudy.
All right,
I'll take that. That's fine.
yeah, so
As long as it doesn't rain, I'm okay with that. 60 degrees, I will take that. Um, so,
I
that's fine with
mean,
me.
look, this team, St. Louis team is confident, just like Nashville, so. Could be another one of those kind of contests, or
Hmm.
we'll see how these guys that can they make the most of the opportunity. That's what I'm looking for. Can you learn from their mistakes, bounce back, and then with a depleted roster, can these kids rise to the challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's a chance for some of these guys to go out there and make a name for themselves. And if you get the reference, yes.
um, but anyway, again, wrap up. We got a few more articles come out this week. Probably got obviously my Ramsey interview.
Hmm.
Got a preview post-match article. You might have some stuff coming out as well. And we'll probably be back shorter on this one. I'm thinking maybe we record early this week and then maybe next week with the travel going down.
Yeah, we have some travel coming up.
So we'll be talking about that next episode. But
Indeed.
right now, this has been another episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe, leave us comments, because we love hearing from you and appreciate all the people who've been commenting and engaging with our content,
Hmm.
as well as checking out our articles and subscribing. So again, if you haven't been to our website, go check it out, theoneteamweagreeon.com. You can hit subscribe on there. It's free content. We do not charge you for our content. So we appreciate all that. And check us out on our various socials and engage with us. We definitely appreciate it. Spread the word. So,
Yeah, and if you see
if you
us
enjoy us,
around, if you see us around the stadium, say hi.
yeah,
We
absolutely.
always love to interact with you guys. But until next time, I'm Kyle, and
I'm Jillian.
we'll see you at the game.